guys, we're back up here. It's September 23rd. Tomorrow is opening day of the Muzzleloader Deer Hunt. It is 4:51 p.m. We're doing a little bit of an evening class session. Kobe's over on the other side here. We split up this evening. We hiked in, got to camp, got it all set up, got all situated. There's quite a few bucks that we've been chasing in here during the archery hunt. So hopefully we can turn those guys back up and shoot one with the muzzleloader and tag out. Opening day. We just found some shooters, at least two, but for sure one. We're gonna go over and make a play. So we got down, looped around. The bucks ended up going up and over the ridge. There was a little saddle. And so far we've just seen some does, some smaller bucks. But we haven't located the bigger bucks yet. So hopefully they come out and we can get a shot. Well, it's the evening class session. We couldn't turn up those shooter bucks from this morning, but we did see those smaller bucks that they were with. So the game plan for this evening is to sit at our glass points here and see if we can turn them up. I'm gonna sit here till about last light. Stay tuned. Headed back to camp. A little into our glass session. Kobe, who's across from me, let me know that there was a decent buck heading up my way. Just heading up towards the saddle I was sitting above. With the line of sight that I had on that ridge, it would have been about a 60 to 167 yard shot. He ended up coming up and over the saddle, but a lot further down where, one, I didn't have a line of sight, so I couldn't see him, and two, it would have been way out of range. Game plan right now is to get to camp, cut some firewood for the stove because it gets pretty cold at night, and then eat some dinner, go to bed, wake up, start the whole process over again. Back at it. Day number 2. Let's go find some bucks. Spotted that 3-point a little earlier this morning. Got over here, and right now we're just debating on if we should shoot him or not. Part of me wants to shoot him, and part of me kind of wants to hold out. He's a good 3-point, I think. Not a real wide frame. That 3-point we were after, the wind switched and started to swirl, and it went right down to those bucks. And that 3-point we were looking at, and all the other smaller bucks, ran clear down into the bottom. The evening hunt is just starting. We saw some smaller bucks come run up and over the ridgeline, but I have to head out because I got to go into work tomorrow. Kobe's gonna stay behind, And then Craig, he doesn't have a tag for this unit, but he's gonna come up to help us out. Tomorrow, after work, I'm gonna head right back in and get back after it. So hopefully Kobe could turn something up this evening or in the morning. Just got off work. Now I'm heading back up to our hunting spot. Colby this morning shot at a pretty nice 3-point. It wasn't the 3-point that we stalked in on yesterday morning. It was a lot bigger 3-point. He got within 170 yards of that deer, and he was waiting there for a few hours. So he decided that he would shoot the buck bedded. The buck jumped up, ran off. He got a good look at the buck on both sides, and it came to the realization that he missed. So I'll have him walk you through what happened on that shot. Alright, I'm sitting roughly where these deer were bedded. They were in those beds right there. That's the rock that I thought was his body that I hit. I ended up looping around, getting up on that knob this morning, and I glassed down here. And this buck was only on his feet for 5 minutes, and he bedded. And yeah, I ended up sneaking in, way down on the opposite side of the canyon, right there. That's 170 yards from their beds, which are right there. You can see it. So, sad day. It was a sick buck. Alrighty, I brought you this.
Brother.
Yeah, I bet you needed it.
That's a game changer. Oh, hell yeah, dude. You're like Santa Claus.
Just spotted some bucks. One looks pretty good. Colby went to go grab Craig. We're probably gonna sneak down there again, like we did on opening morning, and see if we could get into range. Man, it's a beautiful morning. Yeah, I'd probably shoot that buck. Wait, what the? Dang it. I just shot at one of those bucks, and I was out about 92 yards. I crest up over this knob, and I saw the butt end of him coming through this saddle. So I was thinking, I'm just gonna wait here. I had my muzzleloader on the rest. I'm gonna go down and see listen and see if there's any blood or anything, just to confirm. Check the spot the buck was at when I shot, and then I followed his tracks down the hill. Then on the way back up the hill, I zigzagged, and there's no blood. Damn, that one's a tough one to swallow. That was a good buck. I thought I had a good shot. Felt good, but I missed. Just spotted a buck. They're coming up out of the bottom.
What do you think?
I don't know, 2 people going through that. Are you not gonna go through the top? You don't think if you could get to that cliff right there, you'll have a shot?
I think they're gonna keep moving across. I mean, it's hard to say.
There's a small 3-point, 2 smaller 4-keys, and another pretty nice 3-point. So Colby is gonna go stalk in on those. See if he could get close enough to shoot the bigger 3-point.
This morning we found that same 3-point from archery season. He's the biggest one out of the group. Besides, well, the biggest one out of that bachelor group of bucks. There was the 3-point that I chased over here. That one, I figure he was probably 28 wide a couple days ago, and got a shot on, but missed. Shot a rock that I thought was him when he was bedded broadside, but he was bedded frontal and had a gray rock beside him. But this morning, found the big 3-point up in the top of the burn, went after him. They were kind of feeding up towards the top, so I tried to cut them off, and they went up to the top, bedded for just a quick second, and then the sun started getting to them. It's been pretty overcast. It's starting to rain now, so I figured that we would be okay to be out of that they would be okay without being in a bed for most of the morning. But yeah, they ended up bedding just shortly, turning around and just feeding their way back to the bottom of the burn. Got all the way over there across the cliff that we were on the other day in the middle of the burn, and still just couldn't find them. So ended up backing out of there, and hopefully once this storm blows through, they'll be back and we can find them again. Also hoping on this buck over here, hoping that the wide 3 shows back up again. The other buck that he was bedded with just showed up in the same beds again, so either one of those will be able to get a play. Should be pretty good chance, much better if it happens in the middle of the day where we actually have some time, and hopefully they'll stay put, because those bucks did not want to stay where they were.
Well, it's been somewhat of a quiet evening. We've glassed up a few deer, yesterday evening, and this evening I decided to pass on it as well. Because for this tag we could hunt archery, muzzleloader, and rifle until we get one. Tomorrow we're really only able to hunt the morning. It's been a fun trip so far. Had a few misses, had some lessons learned. Right now I was just trying to turn up a buck that gets me excited enough to go after and shoot it.
So we got our camp set up here. We got charging station as well as a fire starter. We got this plugged into a power bank. It's just rope lights to keep everything lit up. We got our wood stove here burning, keeping us warm at night. Got our firewood for the stove. I usually put my backpack up there, treat it kind of like a nightstand, but also it's ready to go for tomorrow. Boots, muzzleloader right there. In the rifle cover, I got ground cloth, sleeping mat, pillow, sleeping bag. Down here we just have a mixture of mine and Kobe's stuff, food, and then extra gear that we just leave at camp. Got Kobe set up over there. Yep, that's a quick little rundown.
Well, last morning of the trip. Let's see if we can turn something up. Going after that 3-point with the eye guards. It's a pretty decent 3. Right now, I cut down on the backside of this ridge, because it looks like they might come down this drainage that they're in right now. And if they do, I could cut them off. I am about 500 yards from them. They're at the point where you don't know if they're going to go down or up. Damn it. I was 182.8 yards away from one of the smaller bucks. I don't know if the wind swirled or what, but they took off and didn't stop. They're clear on the other side at about 300 and something yards. Way out of range for these open sights. Man, I got a long climb back to Colby. Long, steep climb.